Ibero.
90.9.
Now about small things and big things. Of course, many persons have told you about the Microsoft jingle or that, but I like to think of the ringtone as a new genre in music of 15-second songs. It's bombastic. Now, do you think, what would be the question? Like making small songs, you had a chapter of creation where you experimented with very, very short songs. Can there be a pop song in a very, very short format?
Well, I have a big collection of early doo-wop songs from the 50s and early 60s, and one of the biggest hits of that time was 1 minute and 37 seconds long. That's pretty short. It's the song called Stay by Maurice Williams. Fantastic song. It's got everything you need in a song. It's got a verse, a chorus, a middle eight, a bridge, all of the ingredients of a song, but it's still only 1 minute 37 seconds. Or 38, I can't remember. That's quite short, but were you talking about 3 or 4 seconds?
Where in ringtones, I heard that Japanese have made conscience about a ringtone. The ringtone just sounds 10 seconds on your phone and then you answer. So the song has to be complete in a 10-second cycle.
Well, I have to say it's not a format that attracts me to work in it very much. Since not really, no.
And about big things.
In fact, ringtones, I wish they didn't exist, really. They drive me mad. People's pathetic sort of little statement of personality on their phone, I just think, oh, really, please, I wish everybody had the same ringtone, really.
That reminds me that in our office, in our radio station, we have a ring, a very noisy and awful ring. We always say we should ask Brian2 to make a ring for a radio station, a nicer one, one that makes our ambience softer and more productive.
Well, not today, I won't.
Yeah, maybe your next project will be ringtones for houses. No?
I somehow think that might be one of those projects that doesn't happen. If I think, would I do that tomorrow? And I think, no, definitely not.
But about houses, now that we talk about the subject of the comfort of being at home, I like the novel and the film Fahrenheit 451. And in that film they have screens, wall-size screens, and the woman in the film doesn't have just one; she has 3.
Yes.
She wants her husband to buy her a 4th one.
Yes.
So to be secluded in that. And now the Bloom application is an iPhone, but now it's released on iPad. And then this work is about a room. Do you visualize a huge thing for home comfort? Or?
Well, I'm actually working on a home version of this installation at the moment. It would be a 4-screen version, so it's about a meter square, but it's a diamond. So I just think of it like a painting. You know, I don't think it's new in terms of the space it occupies in a house. I could imagine it would be in the same sort of space that a painting would be in. What I think is new about it is in the time that it occupies. As you said in your first question, it requires that you treat time in a slightly different way. And I like that. I like the fact that it makes this new kind of behavior in people that I've not seen before, where people sit very still for sometimes a very long time watching this. Very long times. You know, we've had people stay 4, 6 or even 8 hours in these shows. They sometimes get up, go to the toilet and come back in and sit down again. And then they come back the next day sometimes as well. So it's interesting because we're always being told, especially by people from television and from Hollywood, that everybody's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. I think that's not true. I think if you present people with something that's very, very slow, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them will slow down to the speed of it, and they'll take their lead from it, and they'll suddenly be experiencing time in a different way.
It seems that you are altering the time fiber.
Well, I think that would be great if it's possible to do that. I think it would be great. You know, if you think of the evolution of humans over the last 4 million years, one of the things we must have spent a lot of time doing is nothing. If you think about it, I remember seeing, when I was in Kenya, I saw a Maasai tribesman looking after his cattle. He was standing on a hill with all the cattle, leaning on he had a long pole, and he was leaning on it. And we could see him from a long way off, and we drove past and round this hill, and I kept watching him. He was just standing still the whole time. And I said to the driver, how long would he stand there usually? He said, oh, they do a day, you know, spend 8 or 10 hours there. He didn't have television, telephone, book, radio. He was just doing nothing, really. And I think humans like doing that, actually. It's like living in your own mind for a while.
Have you thought of medical purposes with music and life?
Yes, I've been thinking recently that, well, partly because I've had many reports from people. For example, quite a lot of my music people use for giving birth with now. I've heard this many, many times of people will come up to me with a little child and say, she was born to your music. They always have very weird eyes. No, they don't. But also with these things, I've had, in fact, somebody just today said to me that about a month ago she had a very serious operation here in Mexico. She was very nervous about it, and she came to this show for a couple of hours the day before, and she said it calmed her down, so she went into the operation in a different frame of mind. And yeah, I think there is a real sort of interesting area between art and therapy, where this has value, I think.
Okay, last question. Apart from music, 'cause I work in music as well, and sometimes I get tired my ears get tired. So I go into gardening, and
yes.
And that teaches me a lot about things I don't develop in my mind, full of music. So what do you do apart?
Well, strangely enough, gardening. It's true.
Yeah.
But I think of the music almost as a kind of gardening, and this as well, in that what I'm doing with these shows is putting some seeds together and then watching them develop. It's not like a piece of art that I've designed in every detail. I just plant the seeds, and then the garden grows there.
Which is your favorite plant or flower?
Well, my favorite tree, I think, is rowan, sorbus. Favorite flower is very difficult. There's so many that I like. I like freesias a lot. Yeah, I'll say freesias.
A final one. I love the Neroli project. I think we forget the nose with music.
Yeah.
Do you visualize it is ever going to happen, like olfactic odorama entertainment?
I've tried it, but it's quite difficult because it's very difficult to change a smell quickly. So what it tends to be is that the aroma becomes like a pad in music, how you have a underneath everything. So aroma sort of has that job. It's difficult to change it. You know, if you fill a room with a smell, unless you've got an enormous ventilation system, you can't get it out quickly. So it's a medium that requires a different way of working. My preferred solution is to have the smell carried on the bodies of very beautiful women who, as you're having the musical experience, they come through and sit on your lap, you see, and then they walk out with their smell, and then another one comes. I've been experimenting with this for years.
You were doing perfume.
I still have a lot more research to do in this direction. I've got to finish.
Yeah, can you just say, I'm Brian2, and this is for my station, it's called Ibero, like the Iberian Peninsula.
Hi, I'm Brian2, and this is me speaking to Ibero. And happy to be speaking to you.